So this sucks. Cheers.
Send your photos to me, Discord's below, and I'll pick my favorite in the next episode of your vibe. Man, in the immortal words of George Lucas,
I may have gone too far in a few places.
But it's okay because I stole that intro from Davey504, who stole that intro from Jax Films, who stole that intro from PewDiePie, who stole that intro from Aluna. That is the order in which all of that occurred. Anyway, I hope you guys have been doing well. What have I been up to? A little bit of this. A little bit of that. But anyway, let's just jump into it. Last video, I asked you to send me a macro shot, a self-portrait, and a double exposure, and you guys delivered. Awesome stuff. Before we get into the gallery of those, I thought this was really cool, so we're gonna do another community challenge, and this one will be due next week.
I am once again asking for your
tones. I have two challenges for you this week. Have them on my desk by next Wednesday, April 1st. The first one is inspired by my friend James, who runs the channel Authentic Aesthetic. He just put out a video which is a collage of photos looking through his window. And I really love some of the shots that he got there, so your first challenge is to shoot something from your window. And the second challenge is do some sort of composite. Maybe take a bunch of photos on instant film and stack them all together and take a photo of that. Take a bunch of pictures and stitch them into a panoramic. Whatever you decide, just take a bunch of photos and combine them into one. As always, you can join the Discord down below and submit yours for the next one. And you can find links to everything I've shown on screen in the description below. Before we get into the gallery, I bet you're saying, Lou, what about you? What did you do for your own community challenge? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'll start out with the double exposure. I was inspired by True Detective. The intro sequences to those shows are filled with really cool double exposures, so that's kind of where my head was when I was taking this picture, and all I did was just go in my backyard and shoot at the tree and then shoot myself up against a white wall, and there you go, easy peasy. For the macro shot, I just did some coffee. I had this vintage Nikon macro lens, but it wasn't getting me in close enough, so I did the classic flip the lens backwards to get a macro shot going in there, and I got some really cool ones. I was really happy with these, and all I really had was the overhead light from my YouTube set and a little lume cube in there to pick up a little bit of light from the side. Last but not least, we have the self-portrait, and on this one I was inspired by my friend S-Rad. She does a lot of interesting stuff with projectors and darker self-portraits, and I really like just the gritty kind of light. And also recently on Twitter I found Jake Wagner, I don't know how to say your name. He does a lot of interesting portraits with long exposure and light, so that was kind of the vibe I was going for. I did a handful of them, and this is the one I'm happiest with, but I definitely feel like I need to practice this style a lot more. Also, I'm not really a model, but hey, you know, we're indoors. Anyway, it's gallery time. We got a ton of really cool entries. Thank you guys so much for submitting and for being a part of this. I really appreciate it, and it made me really happy to see all your photos coming in, so I hope that we can keep this going and more people will join up. almost forgot. Remember last video I put the guitar thing in there? Well, Emily sampled it and made a lo-fi thing, so we'll play out the video on that. And guys, that about does it for the video. I know we make a lot of jokes here, but please stay safe and wash your hands. And you guys are adults, you know what to do. Just be careful out there, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye. Remixed my song. They did some. Oh my god, I almost forgot. Emily. Emily. Oh my god, I can't do this. They did some lo-fi stuff to it. Remember I put the. This is awful. Before we do the. I had this vintage Nikon.
Like and subscribe to Sweet Lou Photography. The man.